for families, negotiating the forensic and judicial system can be quite daunting. There are a lot of people that need to become involved and a lot of agencies that are required to do a certain amount of work with a family, and the families often get very confused about who is in what role and who is doing what job and when they're doing it. And as an advocate working with victims, it's part of my role to help them understand all those different people that might become involved and when they might become involved. So what does that role look like? What things are they likely to want to look at with themselves or with their children? And so, you know, it's very difficult for the families, because what they think of the system is that their child's going to come and get interviewed and that all of a sudden, you know, a week later they're going to be in court. Well, in actual fact, we know that that's not the process. Anything with courts takes a very long time, and what we need to help families do is stay grounded in the moment. So look at each step as it comes. So when they come in for the interview, looking at, you know, how to best support their child through that interview, what to help support their child with after the interview, and then looking at how long it's going to take to get to the detectives. What are the detectives going to look at? How long is the investigative process going to take? What sort of things might be needed from them in that process? What should they be asking? What do they need to know? And then from there, if charges do get laid, then the court system may become involved, and they have a whole other different set of questions that they need to look at there. So when we ground families, we definitely tell them that each case that's coming in is individual, and so each step is going to have a different outcome at each one. So we need to keep them here and now. We need to take things a little bit at a time. So we have a definite way of talking to them about that, but it would be really useful for advocates, I think, if everyone involved in the judicial or the forensic system gets together and really talks about having a shared understanding of what we talk about with families and when we talk about them with it. Also, I think what's really important for us to do is to sit down with the families and help them look at what is the right question to ask and what is the right question to ask to who and when. Because what we know is that because there is a very long gap between each different step, it's in those gap moments where the families start rewriting things for themselves and coming up with all sorts of fears and concerns of what might be coming next, because they don't have that information. No one's just phoning to them and saying, you know, look, nothing's actually happening at the moment. What we're doing is we're waiting for the next pre-hearing at the court, and that could take a little bit of time to come. But if they just had that phone call to say that's what's happening, they would feel a lot calmer. They'd feel a lot more able to keep things on an even keel for them and their family, because what we know is information is power, and if they had the more information they have about each different step, the more powerful they're going to feel in the world where a lot of power and control has been taken away from them.